They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are 2 busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping that your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, as we are fond of saying each and every Tuesday right about this time of the day, good Lord willing, if it wasn't a good one, you'll still be here when the next one rolls our way and you have the opportunity to try it all over again. We start today's show talking about infrastructure here in the state of Louisiana. Recently, the American Society for Civil Engineers released the results, and I haven't quite been able to figure out why this is news now, but a 2017 report by the American Society for Civil Engineers grades bridges in Louisiana at a D+. D as in David. The study ranks the 1,700 plus bridges as being structurally deficient. A representative from the mayor's office and DOTD says the biggest obstacle to us getting out of this ungodly situation is funding. Now, as you well know, the conservatives in Congress are pushing for the Biden administration to put forth money to deal with actual infrastructure, not child care, not social programs, but programs dealing specifically with real, quote unquote, infrastructure. Congressman Garrett Graves, when questioned about this report, and for the record, there's no earth-shaking revelation in this report. We've all known for how long now that our roads and our bridges are in a serious state of disrepair. All across the state, people can tell you bridges they used to drive across that have been closed in recent memory because they've been deemed structurally deficient. Fortunately, we have not had any high-profile collapses or anything of that nature, but it stands to reason with so many parts of our infrastructure, in this particular case, bridges, some being 50, 60, 70 years old, their usable lifespan is at an end. And of course, as we have been forced to do because of a lack of revenue, we continue to make fixes, for lack of a more appropriate term, to extend the lifespan of these bridges. At some point, we reach the tipping point where it's costing us more to maintain than it would to actually invest in something new. Bottom line, y'all, we've got some serious decisions to make about our infrastructure here in Louisiana. And I coined a phrase many years ago, back when I was doing Just Talk Radio. And it just hit me one day. I said, my sincere hope for my state is that sometime in the near future, and we have not yet begun to approach this, it's just a hope. I hope at some point Louisiana will believe enough in itself to invest in itself. By now, it should be pretty obvious there's, although he thinks he is on occasion, it should be obvious that there's no guy on a shining white steed with bags of gold riding around to all points of America, handing out free money to fix all of our ills. Now, you can't tell Joe Biden he's not that guy, but he believes he is. At some point, y'all, we have to believe enough in ourselves to invest in ourselves. We can't expect a Fortune 500 company to move an entire workforce to a city in Louisiana if the people who live there don't support buying the things they need to further themselves. Now, it got me thinking after I saw this report saying Louisiana bridges receive a near failing grade. Well, it's no secret we are billions and billions and billions of dollars in the hole. At last juncture, I want to say 13 point some odd billion dollars in the hole. Here's something we need to think about, y'all. Before you run out there and buy this brand new EV, the new electric vehicle, you do realize everything involved here, do you not? I know you know, in the interest of being green, in the interest of saving the planet, in the interest of looking out for the children, you all set to run out and buy that brand new electric car. Well, here's something that you might want to think about. You know your buddy Clarence always looking out for you. Just something you might want to think about. Number one, the cost of the new vehicle. Yeah, but Clarence, anytime you buy a new car, you got to make, an investment. And you just said we got to believe in ourselves enough to invest in ourselves. And you'd be right. But aside from the cost of the new electric vehicle, also consider how your utility bill is going to go up because you got to charge that puppy. That's right, Marty. Marty thought the darn thing made its own electricity. No, that's not how this works. You got to charge this puppy pretty much every day, unless, you only drive 30, 40 miles. But here's the rub, y'all. Here's the real rub. For every single electric vehicle purchased, you do realize every one means you're no longer buying gas, okay? And that's a good thing, Clarence, okay? You do realize, do you not, how we build and maintain current and new roads and bridges? In case you don't know, all of that money comes from the gasoline tax. Every single time you buy a gallon of gasoline, a portion of it, that price, goes to the state government and to federal government. That money is the money that's used to build and maintain roads and bridges. So when all these people run out and buy these new electric vehicles to save the planet and the children, all of a sudden that money to repair and build new roads and bridges, it's gone. It all disappears. So how then, already 13 some odd billion dollars in the hole for road and bridge repair, how are we going to fix this? I mean, short of Uncle Moneybags on his shining white steed, Joe Biden, riding to the rescue to give everybody all the money they need to fix this stuff. You do realize that your electric vehicle is not using gas. Do you think the politicians, really, do you think they're just going to say, oh, well, everybody's driving electric cars, there's no more gasoline to tax, we're just going to stop building roads and bridges because ain't no more money? Oh, no, Hoss, if that's what you're thinking, my friend, you are sorely mistaken. So in addition now to the cost of the new vehicle, in addition to the cost of your utility bill going up every freaking month because you've got to charge this car over and over and over, now get ready for the user fee. See, you're going to be using the road in your brand new electric car, but you won't be paying anything to help maintain the road, much less build new ones. So you are going to have to pay a user fee. And guess who gets to set that fee? The same people that have neglected taking care of the infrastructure for over 30-some years now. Now listen, I understand, I get it. I'm a conservative. I, like most conservatives, want as fewer taxes as possible. Fewer taxes, the better. Let individuals, let municipalities take care of their own needs, okay? We have not raised the state portion of the gasoline tax in over 30 years. Can you name me one thing that you can buy today that costs the same thing that it did 30 years ago? Of course you can. Nothing is as cheap today as it was 30 years ago. So now, to make up for this backlog, $13+ billion, and to continue maintaining existing roads and bridges, not to mention building new ones, they're going to need a whole new stream of revenue. And guess who gets the privilege and the pleasure of providing it? Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner. Get ready, y'all. It's coming. Can't say after you watch the Clarence Bug Show, you can't say you didn't know. Consider yourselves warned. First break of today's show. When we come back, Second segment, Tuesday. You know what that means, right? Another edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's up next on the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
The first big sale of the year is here. The Dream Garage Spring Event is underway at Team Honda. For the first time ever, get $1,250 customer cash on every new 21 Passport, or get 0% for 60 months on every new 21 Pilot at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If by chance you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, we have instituted a new segment on the show. It is in response to the ever-increasing level of stupidity in our country, and I'm sad to say, among the species of human beings in recent memory. We have always had the stupid among us. But that's not what this segment is about. The individuals we've always had among us, they're, regular stupid. S-T-U-P-I-D. The stupid that we're talking about on this segment, you will notice is spelled differently. S-T-O-O-P-I-D. That is an entirely different level of stupid. We start in the great state of Nevada, Las Vegas. Actually, I think they could change it to Lost, L-O-S-T, Vegas. But I digress. Miss Nevada, USA. Pageant held this past weekend. And for the first time in the history of the Miss USA pageant, a dude won the contest. Transgender woman Cataluna Enriquez, as a result of winning the Miss Nevada title, will now go on to compete for the Miss USA title in November. And of course, after winning, there were, all the usual gratuitous statements. Thanks to my family for support and yada yada, blah, blah, blah. Or as Marty would say, wah, 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 which is pretty much the equivalent of blah, 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 blah. Just when you thought that certainly we can't be this stupid, along comes Las Vegas. Listen, y'all, I understand that there are people out there that have an agenda. I get it. I understand wholeheartedly. And there are people out there, life will teach you if you haven't learned already. There are people out there that will get away with whatever you allow them to get away with. At the end of the day, bruh, you're a dude. End of discussion. Yeah, but Clarence, they identify as being a woman. Well, I identify as being a car. I told y'all last week, I got an engine, it's my heart. I've got transmission, legs and joints. Got a horn, my voice. Got a windshield, my eyes. Got windshield wipers, my eyelids. I identify as a car. But that don't make me a BMW, hoss. It makes me a dude who thinks he's a car. End of discussion. Miss Nevada is a dude. Now you know why we named the segment. Now that's just stupid. Secondly, cancel culture. You've heard a lot about it. Cancel culture. You hear about it all the time. And you knew that it wasn't going to be long with individuals going out of their way to cancel people that they don't agree with or believe in. You knew it wouldn't be long before they started canceling themselves. There are so many jokes that could be made about this story, but there's so little time. Speaking during a Zoom meeting recently for an event focusing on women and diversity studies, Jessica Bridges, a white Spanish teacher, said she is going to stop teaching the language because it's not suitable for a white woman to teach Spanish. You heard me right. Even though she comes from Europe, by the way, she says she came to this revelation after encountering a course that she saw on Instagram on how to be, and Marty, you need to take this course, how to be a better, quote, white ally and anti-racist co-conspirator. Listen at this. Listen at this. Posting on Twitter a video. And by the way, this woman is a candidate for a master's degree. She says in the video, quote, "We're deconstructing our emotions around acknowledging our whiteness and white privilege through the lens of grief and the process of grief. We talked about mourning our white morality. I'm holding myself accountable to this journey. Part of my accountability is to continue to struggle and grapple with my internalized white supremacy. Dismantling white supremacy in society looks like dismantling in my heart first. It means I'm not going to teach Spanish. Accountability is ongoing because there's no end to the process. Actually, there is an end to the process. What there isn't an end to is stupid. She hails from Europe. And you know what's funny here? With all the talk of diversity, all the talk of inclusion, she can't teach Spanish, even though she's white European, because it's racist? Huh. Yeah, that's pretty much stupid all day long. Finally, just occurred to me, it wouldn't be right to talk about stupid and not include AOC in all of this. Recently, and y'all know I'm lying, the esteemed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez came out to instruct all of us that all of this stuff that you're hearing about crime exploding across the country, that's just hysteria. It's not really happening. It's, politically driven, and it's all hysteria. Quote, this is from a conversation with a fellow Democrat from New York over Zoom. Quote, we're seeing these headlines about percentage increases. Now, I want to say that any amount of harm is unacceptable and too much. But I also want to make sure that this hysteria, that this doesn't drive a hysteria, and that we look at these numbers in context so that we can make responsible decisions about what to allocate in that context. End of quote. Speaking of slash blah, 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 stupid with an exclamation point. You know what's amazing? And if you listen to people long enough, pay attention to what they're saying and doing, you find out what they're really all about. Less than 3 days after making this statement, this past weekend in Chicago, just Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not the whole week, mind you, just the weekend, 77 people shot. But AOC will tell you, oh, that's just hysteria. We can't get caught up in the hysteria. 77 people shot just in Chicago, just on the weekend. Now, when you make a statement as stupid as the one she made, this is just, we can't get caught up in the hysteria. One of three things, or some combination thereof, comes to my mind. Either, one, you are so disconnected from reality, it's scary. Go to inner city Chicago and tell those people, oh, the 77 people that were shot just on the weekend, that's hysteria. So either, one, you are just totally disconnected from reality. Two, you just flat out stupid. Or three, y'all know where I'm going. Number three, it's just black people killing other black people. We can't be all that concerned about that. And yet, she is the one who always rides the horse of racism. She is the one who always talks about we need more diversity, more inclusion. She is the one that would make you think white supremacists are hiding around every corner, ducking down behind every bush, every set of hedges, every tree, ready to jump out and pounce. But it's hysteria. When you talk about the crime rate exploding in Portland, in Seattle, Oakland, LA, St. Louis, Kansas City, Phoenix, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Atlanta, Newark, Milwaukee, and the list goes on and on and on. Y'all just be sure you don't get caught up in the hysteria when your loved ones are being murdered in the streets of America. Bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we'll spend a little time with one of my favorite people talking about the big news at Louisiana State University, both in baseball and track and field. Jonathan Poche joins us next for another look at sports after this break on the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Big news coming out of Louisiana State University last weekend, and it is something that many people had been looking forward to. Many people having the bar of expectation raised so very high with the recent hire of Kim Mulkey-Robertson as the new women's basketball coach. A lot of folks had high expectations for the individual tabbed to replace Paul Mainieri. Well, we now know Jay Johnson, formerly of Arizona Wildcat fame, will take over the reins of skippership for the LSU baseball program. Joining us to talk a little bit about this and another huge LSU story is one of our go-to guys for all things sports. You know him as the co-host of Tigers Roar. We welcome in our good friend, Jonathan Poche. Jonathan, how are you, big fella?
CB, I'm doing great. Really appreciate you having me on today. Ready to talk some LSU sports.
Yes, sir. So what do you make of the hire overall?
Well, I really liked the hire when I first heard it. Then I spent some time really researching Jay Johnson, the name that a lot of LSU Tiger fans probably weren't very familiar with.
Right.
Did make it to the College World Series this year, his second trip in 2016. His introductory press conference was yesterday, and wow, he really hit it out the park. First impressions are all good for me. I like the hire. I heard you mention the bar being set so high because Scott Woodward was able to bring in Kim Mulkey.
Right.
Look, Scott Woodward's expectations for this program are through the roof. He's an LSU guy through and through.
Right.
I believe he wanted to go after the top names in the industry, like a Tim Corbin from Vanderbilt. But as we both know, college coaches really don't make lateral moves.
Right.
And Woodward believes that Johnson is prepared. He's going to over-prepare, and he is ready to step into this role. Really, what left a lasting impression on me was at the introductory press conference, Jay Johnson spent a long time talking about Skip Urban and Paul Mainieri and the legacy that they had, that they set forward.
Yep.
He really wants to live up to that expectation. I thought it was really great.
Was there any one thing that sealed the deal for you, or was it a scenario where, like most times, when you take everything into account, you then make a decision? Was there one thing that really stood out with Jonathan Poche about Jay Johnson?
Well, there was one thing, but I'm going to answer the question like this. There was not going to be a perfect candidate or a perfect hire for the LSU team. I mean, a lot of people wanted like the young guy, like Tony Vitello out of Tennessee. Maybe they wanted the experienced guy with skins on the wall, like the coach in Louisville. Maybe they wanted a coach that was really passionate about their players, like Godwin from ECU.
Right.
In my opinion, what put it over the top for me is the stories about how Jay Johnson prepares. He'll have coaches meetings that last all day. He'll write on a whiteboard, that's 24 feet long and fill up every inch of it.
Wow.
He plans out his workouts, his practices for the month and day. He has a planned attack on every pitcher that they're going to face in the weekend series out of the bullpen. The guy is uber prepared. He writes everything down, which I also do, so I kind of like that, the old school, write everything down.
Right.
But that's really put him over the top. He's going to be the most prepared coach in the country, and his team is going to work hard. And really, that on top of the offensive numbers for Arizona speak for themselves.
Yep.
Last season, we're fourth in the nation in batting average at 325, and they were sixth in the nation with runs scored. So if we can get a lot of runs scored at Alex Box Stadium, it's going to do wonders for the fan base. Going to have everybody rocking. I think everybody kind of wants to see more offensive output than we've seen in the last few years under Coach Paul Mainieri.
What do you think the hire of Jay Johnson, being a, quote, West Coast guy, what will that do for recruiting for LSU baseball?
Well, it's already pretty easy to recruit to LSU just with the pedigree of the program. But, I mean, you mentioned him being from California. He could bring a nationwide reach from the SEC region all the way to the West Coast. There's a lot of talented baseball players in California.
Oh, yeah.
Have a guy familiar with the area, familiar with the programs. It's only going to do good things for the LSU program moving forward in recruiting.
And, of course, when you figure the amount of talent that Paul Mainieri is leaving for him, conventional wisdom says there's not going to be a lot of downtime between LSU either returning to where we want it to be or exceeding that expectation. Agree or disagree?
No, I totally agree. That's an excellent point, CB. When Jay Johnson took over Arizona in 2016, his first year, he was coaching a team that he did not recruit, did not bring into the program.
Right.
But they made it to the College World Series, made it back this past season, and neither of those two teams are as talented as the one LSU is bringing back next year. When you talk about the freshmen that played all season for the Tigers, I mean, 3 starters in the field and then all the arms out the bullpen. Talk about a Will Helmers. I mean, the list of talented freshmen and underclassmen goes on and on for the Tigers. There's not a team or a coach in the nation that doesn't want Dylan Cruz. The guy's a phenomenal baseball player. A lot of key pieces are already in place for Jay Johnson to come in. And like he said it yesterday in the press conference, he's ready to get into it, meet with the guys, look them in the eye, and tell them what it's going to take to win. And I believe anybody with a plan is in a better situation than anybody with a wish or a hope or a dream. Jay Johnson has a very clear plan of how he's going to attack every single practice, how he wants his players to prepare, and it's going to be good things looking forward, no doubt.
Let's shift gears and talk a little track and field. As everyone knows, Olympic trials underway, and Javon Harrison, LSU product, pulled off a feat. If memory serves correct, the stat I heard was we've not had this done in 5 decades. This guy seems like he's the real deal, Jonathan.
I think it's a little longer than that, CB. I think Jim Thorpe was the last person to compete in two different, the high jump and the long jump. I read something where this hasn't been done since like 1912.
Wow.
Yeah, Javon Harrison in a class of his own. I mean, you think about how he did it. The guy hasn't lost a high jump competition in 3 years. We're talking March 2019 since he came in second place in a high jump.
Wow.
Okay, so he's in Oregon. Oregon's going through a heat wave right now.
Right.
Temperatures up to 104, indexes of 114. The guy has a 6-hour delay between his first event and his second event and comes back to win them both. The guy has swept finals in each of his last 3 years. That's never been done before in the history of the NCAA.
Wow.
In a class of his own. Congratulations to Mr. Harrison. And you ask him, what do you think is going to be the expectations for Tokyo? He's going to win. I mean, the guy is ranked number 2 in the world for both long jump and high jump, so he's going to be in contention in both. Outstanding for that young man, really to cap off a phenomenal year with the men's track and field team, takes the national title, and Coach Shavers does a great job with that group. But phenomenal year, phenomenal for that young man. Looking forward to seeing him compete in Tokyo.
That is a great segue, and thank you for that, by the way. This just adds even more validity to the LSU track and field program. And something like that, if Javon has anywhere near his potential, that performance in Tokyo, you can't put a dollar figure on that kind of exposure for a national championship winning track and field program like LSU, correct?
I mean, you already have Sha'Carri Richardson for the women, who's all over everywhere, social media, ESPN. She's got swag, she's got character, she wins every race she competes in. She's got great full-away speed. And with the men, they take the national title this year. And maybe we weren't clear enough with how phenomenal Mr. Harrison's performance was. But, okay, so his first event was the high jump. He goes over 7 feet 7 inches.
Wow.
With the high jump. 6 hours later, comes out with his personal best of the long jump. 27 feet, 9.5 inches. The guy jumped almost 28 feet. That's longer than kangaroos can jump, CB.
Right. All right, we'll close with this. It's on a completely different and unrelated note. Being the great guy that you are and the young guy that you are, you not only follow sports, but you also are involved. Many people may not know the face that they see on the screen kind of looks like a real passionate T-ball coach. Understanding what you've gone through coaching this T-ball team, what advice would you give to parents who have kids that age playing T-ball, Jonathan?
Well, parents need to instill in their kids that it is okay to fail. You try your best, win or lose, everybody likes to win. But if you try your best, it is okay to fail. The only way you really learn lessons, I believe, in this life is when you fail. If you do something not so good, but you still win, the next time you go out and play, you think you can just perform just so, not really give it your best shot. You can still have a good chance to win. And that's really not how life works. It breaks my heart to see kids get so upset when they don't pick up a sport right away. They can't, do everything everybody else does. They see on TV because they're just starting out. If they strike out, they get all down on themselves. They make an error. They want to blame somebody else. Kids have to understand it is okay to fail and just to get better every time they come out. And if they did that, they truly stayed humble, which the lost art of being humble is gone in today's youth sport. I mean, if you do something well, you want to celebrate like Odell Beckham. You wear all the sleeve gear, the Nike headbands, all that good stuff. And, that's great. I get that brings attention to the sport and it makes it fun. But if you're asking me what I really would hope for the youth sports of America is just for kids to be okay with failing. Because look, especially in baseball, baseball's a hard sport. I mean, we both know it. You fail 7 out of 10 times, you can still make it to the Hall of Fame in the pros.
Yeah.
It is a hard sport. It's for the mentally tough people. So really, the mental toughness and being okay to fail is something I wish that kids still had these days.
And my friend, we could take that and transform it across the board, not just baseball, but life in general. Jonathan Poche, co-host of Tigers Roar, as always, good stuff, insightful. We'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
Really appreciate it, CB. Have a great one.
Do the same, my friend. All right, final break of today's show. We'll get this done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy. That's Marty. It's his fault, white people. And we'll wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Buggs Show only on the Pelican. Stay close. It's your fault.
You answered it. You hang it up.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
The selection is deep, and the time to get a used car is right now from the Team Automotive Group. Shop and save on over 125 certified vehicles and choose from more than 700 pre-owned vehicles at any of our team locations. Or log on anytime at TeamAutoUse.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back for the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, every so often, thank you, Marty, every so often we find ourselves, for whatever reason, following certain trends, zeroing in on certain things that most times evolve from things that we see, hear, do over and over and over again. It's no secret in this information age that we have the ability now to glean information from more sources probably in the history of the human species. As a caveat, and I thought about this as it was coming up and coming out, we can access more information quicker than any other time, maybe in the existence of human beings. I mean, prior to the advent of cell phones, you could get information on a lot of things, but it wasn't right there at your fingertips. It would take some research. It would take going to the library or going in the back and pulling out that old Encyclopedia Britannica and then looking it up, and you know the whole drill. All the young people out there are going, "Mommy, what's an encyclopedia? Who is Britannica?" Different show for a different day. But in recent memory, yours truly and a host of others have been informing Americans that you got to be careful about where you go for necessary and needed information. Because the fact of the matter is, we no longer live in a country where there is a free and open press. Just about every single media outlet out there has an agenda one way or another. And many of us would go so far as to say the mainstream media, well, they pretty much just flat out lie to us about whatever, whenever they get ready to. Well, a new survey was revealed last week. This survey covered 46 countries around the world, and it polled 92,000 people that are regular news watchers. When it comes to trust in media, the United States ranked dead last. Only 29% of the people that took part in this poll said they trust the American media. Only 29%. Our numbers, dead last. Worse than Poland, the Philippines, and it gets worse. Worse than Slovakia, worse than Nigeria, Portugal, Kenya, South Africa, Brazil, Denmark, Norway, Germany, Ireland, and the list goes all the way to number 46, where you find us. Now, the media, mainstream, is probably trying to figure out, well, why is it that Americans don't trust us anymore? Well, it might, and this is just a guess off the cuff, it might have a little something to do with how much you lied to us about things that are mundane. Remember when your parents caught you telling a lie about something that in the grand scheme of things was inconsequential? Remember what they told us? Son, if you will lie to me about this, as inconsequential as it is, if you will lie to me about this, well, what else will you lie to me about? Americans, apparently, are finally waking up. Only 29% of Americans taking part in this poll said they trust the media. That means our work is almost complete, y'all. We only got 29% left to go. 71% of them, my fellow Americans, have already realized you're being hookered, snookered, hoodwinked, and bamboozled. 71% of us have figured it out. We only got 29% left to go. Today, like every other, we come to you from Bayou Smokehouse at 10655 Coursey Boulevard, the home of old school barbecue. If you've not yet been, my friends, what are you waiting on? If you revel in the idea of living a deprived life, well, I guess I have to understand that. But if you're one of those that likes good food, good people, good atmosphere, 10655 Coursey Boulevard is the place for you. Oh, by the way, I haven't mentioned today that as soon as yours truly ends, my dear friend Bill Profita of the Exiles fame will be right up behind me. And of course, if you are just finding out about the show, missed a segment, you can view them all on YouTube. And we also replay Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night on the Pelican as well. But time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. And this day, just like any other, I give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.